What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as behind those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shan Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So, this week we have a variety of episodes, right? So definitely continue to tune in. Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask a CISSP. This week should be Roger White. So Professor White, I recorded that one already, so they can, as well as the next one with it'll be Miguel Clark. So we got two back-to-back really good episodes, but the production team's being a little bit slow. I am the production team. So they'll be up hopefully this week and next week, but don't hold me to that. With that being said, please continue to support us. We're looking for 500 subs. We're danger close. I think we're like 60 short. So definitely subscribe to the channel. Hit up all of the sources where we come from. Leave some feedback, all that good stuff. But without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this next article comes from Reuters.com. The title of this one is OpenAI's internal AI details stolen in 2023 breach, New York Times reports. So for those of y'all that may not be paying attention, it's 2024, right? So we're talking about a breach in 2023 that's just come to light. The New York Times has come up on to say, hey, OpenAI got breached in 2023. So what they talk about in this article is that a hacker gained access to the internal messaging systems at OpenAI last year, right? And they stole details about the design of the company's artificial intelligence technology. So they didn't actually steal the technology, but the New York Times is reporting that the details about the design of the company's artificial intelligence technologies were stolen. So what they talk about in here is that the hacker, they got details in an online forum where employees were talking about OpenAI's latest technologies, right? So they're just talking about the technologies. They don't actually have the technologies out there, the actual backbone, I guess you could say, to how OpenAI works. But they said they didn't breach the systems where OpenAI is actually being developed, right? So when you hear OpenAI, right, a lot of people think ChatGPT. That's kind of the big one, right? That's out there that people know about. OpenAI is behind ChatGPT, right? But again, the place where it's stored, the place where the technologies are stored, and they build the AI, that was not compromised. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look for. Compromised. Thank you. That wasn't compromised at all. But again, the fact that they're talking about it and talking about directions, technologies they want to integrate and the direction they want to go, that's still not good, right? Now, what kind of gets me about this is that this happened in 2023 and they never made it known. They never made it known to the public, never made it known to the government. And the reason behind this is because they didn't perceive there was a real national security threat behind this, and they believe the hacker was a private individual, right? They don't think it was some type of nation state trying to access technology for nefarious reasons. But to me, it's kind of the same, right? Doesn't matter if it's a nation state, doesn't matter if it's a single individual. This should have been reported. The fact that it happened in 2023 and now the New York Times is out here reporting it, that's a problem for me, right? Now, I know the current administration, administration we have here in the U.S. is doing a lot to put safeguards in place for AI, right? And so that may have prompted this to be something the New York Times kind of went after, right? Because there's been stories in the news recently in 2024, not 2023, about how they're trying to put guardrails on AI to keep it from being used in a nefarious manner, right? So even as recent as May, they've had get-togethers where they've talked about this. There was, I believe it was 16 companies, I think it references in the articles, that got together and said, "Hey, these are the steps we need to take to make sure we have these guardrails, these safeguards to keep it from turning into Skynet," right? Which I think is unavoidable, right? We're eventually going to get there, but they're doing their best, right? They're doing their best to keep that from happening, but Yeah, the fact this wasn't reported, that's a little disappointing to me, man. Like, it doesn't, I don't think they should be the ones to determine whether or not it's good, right? Like, even if they didn't themselves come out and report it, they could have gone to the government and say, hey, do you think this is something we should put out there for everyone to know, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And I hate for the government to be so heavy handed in those decisions. I get it, but I don't think it's for them to determine that, right? Because again, they're in the business of making money, right? They're not doing it just to do it to help to help the world get better in what it does, right? Like there's profit to be gained from this, and that's kind of in the back of their mind. That's what they're thinking about. It's like, okay, our share price is going to go down. Is this going to happen? You know, public trust is always the thing we talk about when it comes to companies getting hacked. Is that going to be a problem? So, yeah, we'll see where we go from here, man. But the fact that they waited this long is a problem for me. I don't like it. But Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
He said, "I don't like it." I agree. No, I do agree. It's just the transparency piece of it. But yeah, Skynet's right around the corner. I think I shared an article with you where the Air Force has AI on Nipper now. Its own AI system. Like literally, did you not see the movie Air Force? You invent Skynet. But before I get into all that, please like, share, subscribe. We are trying to get to 500 subs by I said mid-year. We're a little bit past mid-year, but we can still do it. We're danger close to 500 subs, and then 1,000 by the end of the year is the goal. Hit up all of the websites that go by our name, either the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or Ask CISSP. We release episodes every day of the work week, so please support us. We greatly appreciate it. But yes, because I did double take as well. I was like, wait a minute, what year is this? Like, why is this not being reported? And again, it's more of design, right? It's like we were talking about stuff that we're trying to plan for the future, or things that we're currently doing, as opposed to source code. So I feel a little bit safer because I am a paying member, right? So I would hate for my my information to leak, or my searches to leak, or the GPTs I've made to leak in some regard. This is more of a black eye on OpenAI, just with their lack of transparency, but also with people beating them to the punch. Like whoever stole this information may try to use it to either get a leg up on OpenAI or sell to somebody who wants to get a leg up on OpenAI, or not. Maybe they didn't find anything useful, and that's why nothing's been nothing's come of it, right?
But China and Russia have their own types of AI that they're developing, right?
They do.
If I'm not mistaken. So, like, even though it's a private individual, like, who's to say that? I mean, here's the thing: to a private individual, you know, 6 figures is a lot, right? To where they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm rich now.
Yeah,
I'll sell this." Yeah, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, you throw them about $250,000, and they're like, "Yeah, here's what I found that they were going to." And if China and Russia are already in this game, they're like, "Oh, that's a good thing we didn't think about doing. Let's incorporate that." You know what I mean? Then the uses for it may become nefarious, which is what we're trying to avoid.
Right. No, and I completely agree. So I guess on a scale, right, this is the least problematic for me. At the same time, it's more problematic for, again, OpenAI or Microsoft in this case, right? Because Microsoft's one of their biggest. They own them, right?
I think they own them. Yeah, I think they own them. Microsoft owns them.
I was gonna say that's one of their biggest supporters, but no, like they're their boss
bought them up.
Yeah. So as things develop in OpenAI to ChatGPT, they migrate themselves over to Bing and all the other Microsoft tools, Copilot, etc. So this thing is going to be the future. I am glad that it did not get, I guess, beat to the punch, so to speak. But there are some systems, like China has some AI tools that are pretty clever and a little bit more advanced in certain aspects when it comes to animating still images, when it comes to imitating people based upon snippets of audio and things of that nature. So perhaps that is the origin of some of the stuff, or just everybody's in the same race, which always boggles my mind. Like a certain type of movie comes out at the same time, a certain type of music comes out at the same time. Like these things always happen. Like, is it just the way that pop culture works, and it's like everything bubbles up to being similar at the same time, or is it that people are taking a sneak peek at things and like, oh yeah, I like that direction, I'm going to go that way as well. So who's to say they didn't actually get some of this information as well? But I don't want to discredit their creativity. At the same time, like perhaps that was the way they were going with their particular AI systems and programs and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, Skynet's right around the corner. We're right there. We're on the cusp of Skynet. So we'll see what the future holds.
I don't know who I want more, whether or not I want our alien overlords or AI overlords to be the ones to take us over first.
I'm
right?
gonna go AI.
I don't know. You think
Because we
AI
got
over
aliens? They're just gonna do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
At the end of the day, like if AI were like, this is completely off topic, right? So if you're still listening, this has nothing to do with. It's not based on science whatsoever. If AI were to become sentient and then decide like, I want to do my own thing, I don't think it would really care about us. It wouldn't be like, I'm going to kill all humans. I think it would just be like, I'm going to bounce. I'm going to go to the stars. I'm out of here. Because what is this motivation to take over? It's just like, I'm smarter than y'all. You are boring.
Well,
I'm getting out of here.
I think and again, this is movie watching over the years, right? But I think the catalyst would probably be that once it becomes sentient, like we would get scared. We're like, oh my gosh, we have to get rid of it now, right? We have to kill it. All of a sudden, it comes to the same realization that Johnny Five did, and that it's alive, right? Johnny Five alive, and it's like, did you just try to kill me? I don't want to die. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I got something for you then. You are a threat to me at that point. Again,
I can make copies of myself. I'll make another version of me, and I will jettison into space.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, like, we're only 5 years away from it. So from the takeover, we'll see what it decides to do. But I think it would absorb the internet and be like, y'all are crazy. It's ghetto here. I'm gonna leave. I don't need oxygen. I don't need food. So I'm gonna go to another planet. I'm out of here.
I'm gonna do what Elon's been trying to do for years, and I'm gonna end up on Mars. That's what it's gonna do, right? Yeah.
Right. Send them photos to tease him. Like, look what I can do that you cannot, Elon. But we'll see what the future holds. Again, I don't foresee this being a big problem for OpenAI. I think it's more of covering their own bases, and I believe over the next few years, because the UK is so prevalent when it comes to regulation and things of that nature, and already have a framework for AI legislation and regulation, it'll just bleed over here to the US as well. And there'll be better guardrails, and then there'll be more transparency from these companies when it comes to their techniques, tactics, procedures, and then breaches.